Alright, so number 15. My number 15 is You're a Woman, I'm a Machine by Death from
Oh,
Above 1979. So it's another album that came out in 2005, and I think there are some more on this list as well, so it must have been a good year for me. But Death from Above 1979 are a sort of noise rock, garage rock, dance rock two-piece. So it's like really sort of growl like what? It's like the coolest bass sound you've ever heard in your life and the heaviest. But it's played in a sort of dance floor anthems kind of way. And then it's got the singer plays drums. He just absolutely smashes his drum kit to a million pieces and howls along with the bass. There's some sort of synths and keys thrown in for good measure as well, but they're just a sort of really aggressive and noisy band. I first came across them actually, I think I was speaking to someone, we'd both been to tea in the park, and one of them had come back and he was like, oh, I went to see this band. There's a band I had never heard of. I think the band was actually El Presidente, but for some reason I'd gotten into my head. I used to do this thing where I'd just go on Amazon and look at like similar, like they used to have a like recommendations list of albums you might like, and I was like scrolling through it and I came across Death from Above 1979. It's like, oh yeah, that's that band that guy was telling me about, but it actually wasn't. But at the time I thought it was, so that's the only reason that I bought the
what the El Presidente sing again?
fuck knows. Like I don't think
I
I've
know,
ever
I know that.
I don't think
name.
I've ever gone back to check out El Presidente after that, but so sorry about that, El Presidente. But Death from Above 1979 are the band that I thought you were, and by that sort of happy accident I came across this album, and it just sort of bludgeons you over the head with its intensity. But it's really noisy and it's really aggressive, and the opening track Turn It Out. I think when I first put this album on, I turned it off because like I was scared by Turn It Out. It's just kind of it's like ballooning, sort of trumpeting bass sounds, but it's also loud and cacophonous. That it takes no prisoners, and it's the production on the album is really lo-fi as well. So it's just like an assault on the senses. And I first heard that opening track and I thought, well, maybe try this album again later. And eventually, I persevered with it, and it's become one of my favourite albums. And that's kind of down to how melodic the bass is at times. I mean, there's the song Romantic Rights, which has got like the bass line is like mad. It's like a mad palm muted sort of crunching, but then it progresses into this sort of really danceable, like sing along where the vocals are "Come back, baby, I love your company," and it's just a really kind of cool.
Come on, baby.
Come on, yeah, and it's just a really cool kind of sound. They're just an aggressive band, but they're also really danceable and really catchy. And it's a strange combination. And most of the tracks are just kind of unrelenting. Like there's huge thumping drums on Blood in Your Hands. The only time it really dials back the intensity is on sort of like brooding song Black History Month, which again it's just got these really cool bass lines and just kind of sing along vocals, and even though it dials back the intensity, it's still got a really good drive and sort of forward momentum to it. My favourite moment and probably most impressive moment on the album is on the song Little Girl, that is just kind of, it's got a driving shuffling intro. It kind of maintains that, but it gets to a point where there's like this really cool, it's not quite a bass solo because it's sort of, well, it is a sort of bass solo with these sort of up, and it's just up and down the fretboard, really cool, like slides, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. And I think that was the moment, hearing that was like, yes, I fucking love this band. And I think the fact that at the time when I heard it, they split up and they didn't make any more music for about 10 years kind of gave them this sort of mythical status. In fact, there were loads of rumours about how the band had formed. The one that I thought was true was that they formed in prison. And it's like, I like the idea of this, like these two mentalists just forming this really aggro band in prison, but it turns out they met at a Sonic Youth concert. But
Oh,
they
really?
sort of perpetuate these myths. There was one that I think one that they met on a pirate ship, which is obviously bullshit.
Yes, yeah.
But the other one was that they met in a gay bar. Well, this could be true. But so, like I said, I think the fact that there was no album for like a decade gave them a sort of mythical status. And then they've obviously got a couple more albums now. The Physical World in
Outrageous,
2014, and in fact that would have been a close shout probably for this list, because as comebacks go, it's pretty phenomenal. Outrage is now not my favourite, but the Physical World is an absolute beast. But it's a lot more accessible than this album is. It's the production is a lot cleaner and less raw than this. So I think that's why. I mean, this is the first album I heard from them, and I think that raw energy and sort of raw production sound edges it out over the Physical World. So
I didn't want to interrupt you, but they're in my list as well.
are they?
Yeah, a wee bit further down. But yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it would have been yourself and John, I think, that introduced me to them. Obviously, back then I played a lot more bass than I do now. John's obviously a bass player, and I think that's why he maybe recommended me to them. I remember trying to learn Blood on Our Hands on bass, but yeah, similarly with you and the first track, Turn It Out, I think I put that on and then immediately turned it off. I was like, this is too much, this is just noise. However, when you kind of go back to, as you said, there's so much going on in that one song, but there is a bit where it's quite melodic, you know what I mean? They hit a kind of sweet point and you're like, all right, okay, and then we see a return to that on the likes of kind of Blood on Our Hands, Black History Month. Yeah, I think they're kind of really quite interesting. I kind of agree with your kind of description on them being like this kind of noise punk, dance punk band. I think they've separately went on to do
Certainly,
dancey stuff.
Jesse Keeler, the bassist, went on and formed, like, when this band split up, he went off and did his own thing with some other guy, and it is proper just like house music.
Was that the band? I don't know what they're called, but it's just like, is it MSKTT or something
Master,
like
it's like that, but it's like Mastercraft, or
that? Is that what it
is
is?
that what they're called? I should have written that down.
I
But
suppose
yeah,
it's worthwhile saying though that in the CD that I bought, and I think it would have been the same for yourself, it's a double album.
well, there's a bonus disc of remixes.
Is it a bonus disc?
Yeah, so it's not a double album. It's just that. I mean, CDs back in the day, you'd not always, but you'd often have a special extra disc with, with B-sides or remixes or whatever. And actually, there's some pretty beasting remixes on there. There's a really good version of Romantic Rights, and I think there's a weird version of Sexy Results as well, which is a sort of kind of creepy.
I like Sexy Results though.
Yeah.
I mean, in my notes I've kind of said that it's, Sexy Results is this kind of, I don't know, respite from that kind of grueling noise punk sound that we described earlier on, and I thought it was kind of reminiscent of Air's Sexy Boy.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And I think
It's a sort of French.
and he sings in French.
Yeah.
Because they're Canadian, aren't they? They're a Canadian outfit.
Yeah, they are.
So I wonder if that's a kind of telling reference or acknowledgement, or that they, I don't know, might have been an influence on their music. I don't know. On that bonus disc, there's a really good song as well. I think it's a live recording of a song called, is it Do It 93?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Which is, I think, from their previous EP.
Is that from their EP?
Which is, if you think Turn It Out is aggressive and hard to listen to, that whole EP is kind of like that. It's just noise, but it's cool noise.
Yeah.
But it is quite hard to get into, and they sort of honed it a bit on this, I would say. Okay, so that was my number 15. You're a Woman, I'm a Machine by Death from Above 1979.